when we learn relative pronouns, we also have to learn the difference between relative pronouns, interrogative adjectives, and interrogative pronouns in Latin. These three things look very similar. In fact, most of their forms are identical. But in usage, there's a slight difference. So first, we should say, what's the difference between a pronoun and an adjective? A pronoun is a word that stands in for a noun. An adjective is a word that modifies a noun. So right off the bat, we can say that the difference between relative pronouns and interrogative adjectives is that, first of all, the interrogative adjective will look like a relative pronoun, have the same form, but there will be a noun attached to it that agrees with it because it's modifying, the adjective is modifying that noun. Secondly, we have the word interrogative in both of these, interrogative adjectives and interrogative pronouns. Interrogo, from a Latin word, means to ask a question. So these two are going to be used only in question sentences when you're asking a question, whereas a relative pronoun could be used in a statement of fact, for instance, or sentences, other types of sentences that are not questions. Now, like we said, the forms between them are almost exactly the same, so you just call the same word a different thing depending on whether it's being used as an adjective and asking a question, or if it's a relative pronoun, like we saw in the last video. Here we have three examples. Let's look at number one. Monstrum quod amas purpureum. The monster which you love is purple. I left out the word is, because you could do that in Latin, and there obviously wasn't space here. Is this a relative pronoun, an interrogative adjective, or an interrogative pronoun? Well, it's not a question, so it's a relative pronoun. Quod is a pronoun with the antecedent monster. Let's look at number two. Quod monstrum amas? Which monster do you love? It's a question. So quod is introducing a question, so it's going to be one of these two. Is it a pronoun or is it an adjective? Well, is it modifying a noun? Yes, it is. Therefore, it's an adjective, not a pronoun. But you say, this quod up here, the relative pronoun, was modifying a noun. Well, no, it's not modifying it, because it's got its own case. Monstrum is nominative. The monster is purple. Quod is accusative. It's not agreeing with monster. The monster is the antecedent here, but they don't agree. Here, these two are in the same gender, number, and case. They agree. So this one's an interrogative adjective. What about number three? Quid amas? Which do you love? Well, that's an interrogative pronoun because we're asking a question, but quid isn't modifying anything. And oh no, quid's actually a different word from what we would expect, which is quad, because I said these are almost exactly the same forms. These three things have the same exact forms except for two forms in the singular of interrogative pronouns, the singular and the nominative, who or which. Instead of qui, quae, quad, which is the relative pronoun and interrogative adjective form, you have quis for masculine and feminine, singular, nominative, and quid. So if you want to say, whom do you love? If you want to say, who loves you, or what loves you in the nominative, you would use quis or quid. But if you're really quick, you will have caught on that this isn't in the nominative here. Whom do you love is in the accusative because the quid is being loved. Well, that's because of the neuter law. In the neuter law, the nominative and accusatives are always the same. So this is quid because this is quid in the nominative. But the accusative for a masculine or feminine interrogative pronoun will be the same as it is for a relative pronoun, so it will be quem or quam, but nominative instead of qui or quae. Nominative as quis instead of qui or quae.